what she wanna do. Lower to the grave, tell you like it is to your face. She don't play. Every chick down for it all, know that she a boss. No competition, no loss. From the Midwest to the A, Autumn got you tuning in, no delay. Ooh, get you right every time. Keep you laughing on a dime. Tell you truth, no lies, so you can live your best life. Cover all topics, no limits. Got something for your mama and your children, no holding back. No gimmicks, coming on strong, get straight to business. Oh yeah. What she wanna do? Live life, live life, live life. What she wanna do? Live life, live life, live life. What she wanna do? Live life, live life, live life. What she wanna do? Live life, live life, live life. Live life, live life.
Okay.
Hey, it's your girl Autumn, and I welcome you back to the Lit Life podcast, where I encourage you to live your life autonomously. All right, we winded down on Black History Month, niggas. Like, hate that it's coming to a close, because you know they'll forget about us, but we won't forget about us. Mm-hmm. So today I have a special guest not necessarily in the stew, but you know what I'm saying, on the podcast. A comedian out of the Atlanta area. Y'all give it up for Kyndra.
Yes, y'all. I'm actually currently in Dubai right now. Let me tell y'all, Autumn is fabulous because she flew me out to Dubai, honey. Yes.
I be having to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? You just have to make sure that your guests are comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I would have made sure you had some good food. You know, everything you needed. So I appreciate you being here, sis.
Thank you so much. First off, for not thinking I was a bot and deleting my message. You know, that's what I first off want to say. Because you know what? It's so many people out there who are just scammers. And the problem that I come across is when I try to because I have a pretty good following on YouTube. And so when I try, like yesterday, I try to, get one of my random followers and say, hey, do you have a YouTube account? I wanted to gain an extra subscriber on my comedy channel. He says, I've been hacked so much within the past several months that I can't afford to open nothing else up. So I wish I could watch your video, but I just can't. I'm like, bro, come on now. It's me, but again, he don't know me, so.
Yeah, true. And I low key on the lowest of keys, I feel them, because some shit that happened to me. But yeah, it's been crazy in these digital streets.
Have you ever got scammed? Not so bad, but like scammed pretty bad by like somebody online that you've never met, or have you ever been scammed by people that you have met?
I've never really been scammed, but I've been just like fished and you know what I'm saying, shit like that, passwords. I've actually been a victim of identity theft. This was way before the internet. I was in Kroger just getting some groceries and left up out of there and left my purse there. So they ended up getting all of my stuff. I had a checkbook in there. This is how long ago that was. Had a checkbook. These niggas was all over at Sam's Club and Walmart, everywhere, writing up all the checks. I mean, they probably wrote about $7,000 or $8,000 worth of checks. Yes, before. And my thing is, well, I guess, see, back then, things were a lot slower, right? So even though they had that check system, if they went and they wrote checks like within a couple of days, they weren't gonna be able to tell that the money wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was just about to. I'm like, I didn't know you was balling back then. You looking for a Splenda, baby?
Absolutely.
I'm like, if you balling, like, pick me up. I'll be a little Splenda girlfriend or something like that.
Absolutely
for the time being.
No, absolutely not. Like, right. Like, I feel you, because I would have said the same shit. But yeah, so yeah, it was so much. I'm gonna have to tell that story one day, because it's another story behind that story. But yeah, I've been. That's the only time I've really been scammed. Now my sister did get scammed out of like some hundreds of dollars. I can't remember. It was a PayPal scam.
Okay.
Basically, somebody saying you pay this amount and then we'll get X, Y, and Z in order, and you're going to get X amount back. And it didn't work out. So
it's been 2 times. The first time I was scammed. The second time I almost got scammed, but shout out to Wells Fargo for them being on top of things. So what happened the first time, I was leaving the gym. This is a few years back. Leaving the gym. walking straight, like, look both ways and see not one car coming. Made it to my car in a 2 minutes time span. I'm about to close my door, and this woman and her daughter come up to my door. And I don't know where they came from, because last I checked, nobody was around the parking lot. They just appeared like cats, okay? So, you know how cats be slick with
Yes,
it.
yes.
So,
like, what you doing there?
Yeah, so they, give a whole little, they do their script, and then the girl, I give them some money, and on cue, the little girl hugs me, right? Now, normally, whenever I do a little random act of kindness, I don't tell people. You ain't gonna ever see me showcase it. People don't understand. Y'all need to stop doing that. Like, you're taking the value away from that. I hate people who do that, but I digress. So I told my sister what I did, and she says, what does she look like? And I described what she looked like. She says, you were just scammed. That woman was in this part of Atlanta yesterday, and she was, I was like, wow. So I was so upset to a point where I was about to drive around Atlanta. Y'all don't know me very well. I'm like, I'm nice right now, but I'm like, it's a dark side of me. Okay. Listen. So anyway, I was about to drive around in Atlanta looking for this woman. I don't know if you guys remember that episode from Martin, when Martin and Gina were stuck in the train station, and that white guy was getting crunk with her through the window, and she said, come a little closer. She had banged him against the wall, the money flew out. I was about to shake her up and down, because she's small. So I was gonna shake that woman up and down, shake all the money out of her, like you playing Donkey Kong and it got hit, they got all the rings popped out. That's what was gonna happen, okay? And I was gonna take that money, rob her like she robbed me, and then I was gonna go and give it to like real homeless people. I want to be able to actually do that. I want to rob the robbers and then go do something positive with it. But I feel like God's gonna come back on me, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, just let it go. Just let God handle it the way. But no,
let me tell you the other quick story about what happened with Wells Fargo. So this was about a year and a half back. I got a notification asking me that I just make a $500 purchase off Wish.com. I have not used Wish in years, because Wish is you get what you pay for. So I go and look up the transaction,
and you get it like 6 months later.
So look, I get a transaction. I look what the person from Tennessee tried to do. He actually tried to buy a Nokia phone. Who the hell is still buying Nokia phones?
And this was just recently?
This was a year and a half ago. Yes.
A $500 Nokia phone?
Nokia phone.
Nokia. For $500?
Yes. Where? Yes. So he tried to buy a Nokia. But you know what was so crazy was he got my entire card information, but he was 1 digit off on the zip code. 1 digit off, which I'm trying to still figure out how, but you know what, people, I'm telling you, man, anybody out there who's scamming, y'all find a real goddamn job, please, man. All right, go ahead.
I was real quick though. I was pissed a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, it was longer than this ago. When I was on Clubhouse one day, and they got everybody on there. Whole LLC, Twitter, and everybody trying to tell you how to, what you need to do to be making money right now. And this dude was on there saying that he has over 500 web addresses, domains that he's bought, because he's expecting people to be looking for him. So say for instance, if like the baby, say for instance, he wanted thebaby.com and the baby was coming up, and he realized that the baby was coming up. He went and bought all of thebaby.com, all of them, however many of them it is, he bought them all, so that when the baby is ready to buy, he's gonna up the price. And I'm like, can we at least not scam each other? You understand what I'm saying?
But here's my question though. Why would he actually admit that?
But because it's a thing.
Oh, I mean, I didn't know it was.
I didn't know it was until then. But it's definitely a thing. Like, people are buying these things up. Again, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle.
I think we should. That's the problem with us. Hold on.
I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. But can you not hustle us? Can we not hustle each other? Like, that's how I feel about that. But anyways. So it's been like We coming up on a year. We coming up on a year of basically being stuck the fuck in the house. Well, not everybody, but you know, we're coming up on a year. I want to know, what has this year been like for you?
So the entire year, of course, the very first, because I was out of work for like 5-6 months. So of course, the very first few weeks, I was like, you know, kind of upset in a way, but I realized I don't like people as much as I thought I did. So that's one lesson I've learned. And mind you, I'm a people person, but people will turn you into Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants, man. And it's funny as a kid, like watching that, I kept trying to figure out why was Squidward so upset? Why did he always have a, you know, frown on his face, all that other type of stuff. And then as time had progressed, I realized like you can, you know, people are very toxic. They're cruel, all that type of stuff. So I love being away from everybody and everything. It was just wonderful being able to save my money. That way I could, you know, do something productive with it or whatever it might be. I did not gain weight. I guess I failed that test. People were like, Kyndra, you didn't gain weight during the pandemic. I said, was I supposed to? You know,
girl,
so anyway.
Congrats to you, because the rest of us out here struggling.
You know, my sleep pattern wasn't off. It was cool. You know, so I didn't have an issue. This pandemic actually helped me go full throttle with my dreams, because, you know, initially I was working 5 days a week. Now I'm working only 3 days. And during the week when I'm off, I am able to you know, DM, email different podcasters, different people I can, because I'm an interviewer as well, different people out there that I can interview. I could just, you know, building my brand, you know, expanding it. So I didn't have an issue. Everybody else has been complaining. They've been upset and everything. So I'm like, I've been pretty good. I've been lovely.
Well, that's good. That's damn good to hear, because yes, for a lot of us, it has been, it's been a struggle. So I guess for me more so because I typically travel for work, and I travel a lot, just not a lot, but you know, enough just on my own period. So being grounded like this, just like, that's the part for me, not really getting that human interaction. I was already working from home, so my human interaction came after work, right? I would leave, I go to happy hour, I go, you know, wherever, I go do something where some people at where I can interact. So I think that was my biggest thing. But that's great. I'm glad to hear that that you were doing well. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into it. All right.
I like that. Did you hire somebody to rap that little intro?
Girl, no, it's I'm gonna send you the clip. It's a whole song to this. And so this clip has been going on around on Twitter for like years, and it's still funny. So I decided to use it.
Use it, honey. Use it. And you know what? You need to get that person on, whoever created that. Put him on.
I've been saying it for so long, but you know how sometimes, you know, is he gonna be mad that I've been using this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. I said I was gonna reach out to him,
but you got to look at it like this. Like, even with my comedy, it gets recycled. So you're right. I have used stuff that people have said that I may have seen on a meme, may have seen their story time, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this person has millions of followers. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who has probably said the same thing that they have said. So they say, hey, Kyndra, you took that joke from me that I posted on my public story, you know, 5 years ago. Okay, well, guess what? What you want? You want some money? Here's $5. That's all I got.
Right. Because I'm like, because that's the thing. I'm like, I ain't got it, bro. Whatever it is you gonna try to get from me, I guarantee I ain't got it. So, but anyways, so let me know what your shut the fuck up award is.
All right. So yesterday, notice a lot of people like to vent on their social media. All right. I don't know what's up with that, but they do. Okay. Because I've always been taught, you know, some things you just keep to yourself. I don't know where it became cool, showcasing everything. Yo guns, yo mid, you know, the man that you stole from somebody. Okay, stop that. All right. Back to the story.
But wait a minute. What social media platform do you use the most?
Instagram. Okay. But like I'm Instagram and Facebook are neck and neck. but I like Facebook a little bit more. It seems more like, homey in a way. Instagram is like, Instagram is cool, but it's like they can restrict you off of, you can get shadow banned. They can, and I mean, but if you really want to go where there's a lot of freedom, just go to Twitter. It doesn't matter. You just be careful depending on the hour you go. All right. So what happened was, had this girl, known her since, middle school. We were once bosom buddies. All right. So, I always keep the same energy. People just change over time. She ends up posting a, thesis statement going off of some girl. Didn't even at her, sneak dissing. Okay, so I said, all right, well, maybe she must want somebody to, give a damn about what she has going on. All right, I got some dams in me. Let me go ahead and give it to her, okay?
Right.
I asked her, I said, hey, who are you talking about? It doesn't matter, but she knows who she is. So my shut the fuck up award goes to people out there who are sneak dissing. Because my thing is, for a fact, you ain't gonna try to fight this person. You too old to be fighting. Come on now, chick, you almost 30 years old. Isn't your back hurting? Don't your back start hurting after a certain age? That's why you shouldn't be fighting no more. Number 2, you just had a baby. Okay, she's gonna knock that placenta out of you. Okay, number 3,
girl.
I'm sorry, I'm ignorant as shit. Number three. Like, again, if you have a problem with somebody, you say what you gotta say on the phone, and that's it. Why are you taking to the web? For how do you know that she didn't block you? How do you know she didn't click on your story? So you over here airing the person out, but you too afraid. Not even afraid. I don't even know what you call it, but like, you don't want to share who it is. Why would you post that on there? So yes, that's my shut the fuck up award. I shut the fuck up to all the people out there who thinks it's okay to sneak this. Because let me tell you something. I remember I was in high school, and there was this, it was like people on Facebook just arguing back and forth about nothing. I guess technically you could say I got into it because all I did was like the status. That's it. Okay. So here comes people on my page. Kyndra, stay in your lane, mind your business. Y'all the ones who put it out here. Okay. So
real talk.
That, they all started trying to gang up on me, and then they went back to arguing with each other. So after that, I left that alone. I'm like, I don't sneak this. I don't have time for that.
It ain't it's no point. Like, what's the point? You put it out there because you want somebody to see it and tell you, instead of you just directly telling them. I don't get whatever. And yes, people are too grown. People are too old for that. Speaking of social media, so I always have just a little story before my shut the fuck up awards. So this, what's today? Today's Tuesday. So this was probably like Saturday or Sunday. A friend of mine sent an Instagram post for me to look at. I click on the post, Instagram, I get a thing that says, you need to change your password. First time I've ever gotten this on Instagram. I said, okay. Click change the password. It still wouldn't let me log in. It said, hey, we'll send you a link, and you could just click the link and it'll log you right in. It was them. It was definitely Instagram. So
okay. All right.
I clicked the link.
Like some hackers.
I clicked the link, but every time I clicked it, every time I did it, because I did it like 27 times, it said the link has expired. So I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why can't I get into my Instagram? So then I'm like, let me go try to log into it from like my web browser, like on my computer. No, first I did it on my phone, the web browser on my phone. It says something about a broken link. I do it on my home computer, Instagram.com/Autumn the Aries. And it says this page cannot be found. So I'm in meltdown mode because I'm like, I just got over 1,000 followers, just like literally like within the last couple weeks, right? And this, which is something that I have been pushing for on Instagram, because I really don't even be feeling like fooling with Instagram like that, but whatever. I'm a Twitter person. So I say all of this to say that I finally got into it today.
Yay.
because and what it seems like is what I've after the research I've done and a couple of people I've talked to is that Instagram banned my IP address.
What?
So I could access it from the Facebook content manager. Mm-hmm. I can access it from, I use a service called later.com to post schedule tweets and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get to, I put a test message out on there and it went right in. So, those services, all of the third party apps go through different servers and you have a different IP. It's the only thing I can think of. All of my computers, my burner phone, everything, I could not get to it on anything. Mm-hmm. So my Shut the Fuck Up award goes to Instagram again, because this is the second one that they've gotten. Why is there no real customer service? There's no, you can't really, you can send them messages, but it's just regular basic contact forms. They're not going to contact you back. They're not going to call you. Even the email addresses I've found for them, they're not going to email you back. I've tagged them on Twitter. They're not going to, at least Twitter will be like, hey, what's going on? They get their Twitter support or whatever. So my Shut the Fuck Up award, and I mean this from the bottom of my damn heart, goes to Instagram for the second time.
It's like Groupon. Groupon is the same way. They literally operate the same way. You can email them and they'll just give you the usual automated message response. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it's just a lot of sorry people out there. These adults,
absolutely,
quotation marks, running things.
It's whack. It's very, very, very whack. If I and I didn't even I started all of my promotions and all that stuff on Twitter because, again, I'm more of a Twitter person. I really despise Facebook. I just do not like it there. Mm-hmm. But I use it. I have a page for the podcast and I use it and it's effective. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it around. Same with Instagram. It's effective. So I keep it around. But they can shut the fuck up right now. So that was good. I want to talk to you about you and your brand and your all of your Black girl magic. I feel like it is. I've listened to a few episodes of your podcast, got a really good laugh. And that's another reason why I asked you what social media you use, because I tagged you on Twitter. I was like, she probably don't even be using this for real.
No. I'll get on. But here's the thing: I'm not the best tweeter. I would lose. I'd be in last place. my GPA in high school, I was almost in last place because I just didn't apply myself. Right. I don't think to myself hey, I got a thought. Let me go to Twitter. I don't do that. Okay.
And that's all it is. That's exactly all it is. It's for. I feel like it's for people like me that have such a scattered brain, and I could just think of one thing now and then 2 minutes later it'd be something totally different, and I just go and tweet it out, get it out of my head, and let that be that. Of course. But so I know that you are here in the Atlanta area, so am I. Are you originally from here?
Yeah, I've been here since I was 0. I know I don't have that accent or whatever. It's because the first 11 years of my life I was raised in a nice little suburban area, okay. And then as time progressed, I went to the hood and just still never grasp it, but it's okay. It's all right. I guess it depends on where my, surroundings are. It might come out or it might not.
Right. I feel it. Yeah. You really don't have to accent. I didn't pay attention to that, but I still wanted to ask you where you're from. So do you think that, so I'm new here compared to you. I've only been here 5.5 years.
All right. Welcome.
So, thank you. So, oh girl, yes. So I always hear about this old Atlanta and new Atlanta. Mm-hmm. What do you know what the changes are? If there's 3 changes, if there's 3 differences between old Atlanta and new Atlanta, what are they? What has changed?
First off, it's a lot of more of the LGBT LMNO community. Now, mind you, I at one point I thought I know what the hell I like. You know,
I heard the podcast.
Okay, because I'm like, women grabbing up on me. I'm like, oh, I must be supposed to be with a woman. Then they playing games. Then men are always gonna be grabbing up on women.
Games.
Men are always gonna be grabbing up on you. So I'm like, y'all annoying, stuff like that. But it's like, it's a lot more gay people here. And the thing is, a lot of people, I tell people, man, don't confuse the people who are from Atlanta with the people who are in Atlanta. Okay. It's a lot of scammers out here. And a lot of these people move here from different cities, I guess, to try to make their dreams like, pop or whatever. But I'm like, bro, you still untalented and you're broke and you're homeless.
Yep.
And you asking me for money. You got anybody who got a Bank of America, tap in. You're like, come on now.
I did almost get scammed when I first moved here. Now that I think about it.
Listen, I always tell people, man, if you ain't got no hobby, you done spent $500 by 5 p.m. So you need to
real talk.
And a lot of, what? And the crazy thing is like, it's so many people always, I come across a lot of and I don't know, I feel like this is just men everywhere. Not just in my city, because I don't want to give my city a bad name. Not mine. Atlanta is amazing, just like the next city. I'm not going to try to give it a bad name, but I'm going to keep it, one hand down with y'all.
Right.
But I keep coming across a lot of guys, especially the ones in my DMs, who will say things like, oh, where are you from? I'll tell them like, oh, okay. They said, so you want a link? Skirt, sir. No, so I'm not gonna give them the benefit. I'm gonna give them the benefit now. So okay, when they say link, I said maybe I'll see where their head is at. Yeah, right. We can go to I'll meet you up at this place. Oh well, you don't want to come to my house? Skirt, sir.
Absolutely not.
Sir, but you know what? That type of stuff actually works. I was having a conversation with another one of my followers. Don't know where he was from, but he said many years ago he used to do the same exact thing that all these guys do to me. And I said, let me ask you something. Let's say you try to hit up 50 different women. How many of those 50 did it actually work? He says only 3 out of the 50. And I learned my lesson because all 3 of those women were crazy. Some stole from me.
I was about to say he probably got robbed.
Did this, did that. He said one girl took his phone, took his money, hid in the bathroom. His family came home and they beat the girl up and threw her out in the street with all her stuff. And I'm like, he's like, after that, I stopped trying to hit up girls just so that I can have sex. He's like, we literally met each other the day of. And then she came over that same day, so like I said, the problem, like I said, and again, I think this happens to, because when you're young and you in your whole years, you don't really give a damn. But I feel like a lot of these guys, a lot of these young guys on, who are on Instagram, they literally are like, hey, you want to come over? Hey, you want to, and I'm like, bro, like, I hate women who are like that. And my thing is, that's what you got Tinder for.
Facts.
Why not go to Tinder or POF? Those are websites for that. Not like, Instagram. Right. But again, like I said, that's one thing I could say. It's a lot of, like I said, have you had a lot of women try to come on to you since living here? I've had maybe 1 or 2.
A couple. I mean, I've dated women, so you know what I'm saying. I don't know if it's like the dart going off, but I don't just like straight up, maybe a couple on like dating apps. I've had women, but a lot of times I kind of see through that. A lot of times I be feeling like it's a man behind the account, or there's 2 of them. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Some of them, yeah.
You mean like they try to be fishing for a girlfriend together?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've gotten plenty of that. I've gotten more couples that come on to me on a dating app than just females.
You know what? And that's to me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm about to keep it one hand down. I'm about to break up some happy homes right now, and I don't give a damn because I hope y'all here for it. Do what you gotta do. First off, real women don't share great dick. Okay, that's the first thing. I want to say that. Secondly, if you really love somebody, and there's some people who are part of that polygamy, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you really love somebody, you're not going to be comfortable with them having sex with somebody else right in front of you. I don't know. I would think. Go ahead.
Let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what I know for a fact.
Okay.
I know plenty of people who are in poly relationships. Mm-hmm. And I think they work for some and not for others. But I think that a lot of people got it all wrong. Like, I think that it's very easy to say that because you and your partner are, very sexual beings and really don't, if y'all want to bring somebody, say you may have been a swinger at one point in time and y'all bring somebody in or whatever. People have threesomes, whatever, just for fun, because really it's a lot of guys out here. If there's a guy that's initiating a threesome, it probably means that the girl is not really trying to do that, but they'll set the girl up to be the one to do it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they'll set the girl up to say, hey, me and my husband or boyfriend or whatever, trying to do this, whatever have you. Either way, have your fun, have your sex, do whatever. Mm-hmm. It's when it turns into being into a relationship is when the problem starts. There really are people out here that can have sex with other people and they be all right. You know what I'm saying? Once or twice. But when they start, when the other person is like, oh, we need to have so-and-so, we need to have her around a lot more, that's when stuff starts to get uneasy. And there are a lot of women who, and men too, there's a lot of people who will go along with it because they don't want to lose the happiness or whatever it is that they have. So they try it out. My problem is, okay, if you try it out and it's not working for you, you probably need to say something. Like you probably need to have a conversation. But I know plenty of people, like more than I thought I would ever know, that are definitely into the whole poly thing. Have I seen it done successfully? To an extent. But there's always going to be, just like you said, there's always going to be feelings. And if y'all don't know how to deal with them feelings, like, or if the feelings are too strong, or if you're just like, okay, I tried this, it's cool, but it ain't as cool as I thought it was going to be, and I don't want to do it no more, and you don't say anything, that's when shit start going crazy.
When you say to an extent, what do you mean by that? Like, to an extent?
So, like, I mean, I won't say to an extent. I've seen it work until it doesn't. But it's like just like any other type of relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like these particular people, I'm not saying like their whole, the whole poly thing was just all wrong. It's just people within that dynamic just weren't for each other. It just weren't right for each other, or they've outgrown each other. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like regular relationship shit. But on the flip side of that, I've just seen some crazy ass shit. Like,
would you do it? Would you actually, have you ever considered poly relation?
I have.
How'd it go?
I've been in one.
How'd it go?
It was one of the ones that was good until it was just time for it to be over. I mean, it was cool until it was time for it to be over. And there were, of course, in any relationship, there's things going on behind the scenes that everybody doesn't know about. And in trying to work those things out, the shit just didn't work out. So it was time for me to exit. So it's not like, but again, I've been in a circle of people who I've actually seen like the absolute worst things that could happen. And I've seen, couples who have, maybe brought someone in or something like that. And they've had, had that third person for a while, maybe even years. And then they don't do it anymore. So what I learned from the poly relationship, I'm not poly.
When did you?
But I knew that going in.
I was just about to ask you, when did you actually realize? And did you hold on? I'm gonna skip that question and say this question. Did you do that poly relationship? Did you agree to it because you felt like it was gonna make your relationship better?
No. It's and it's a little bit more complicated than I really want to go into.
No. Of course, it's fine. Of course.
But no, that was not the case. As a matter of fact, I was not with that man when all of this stuff happened. Like,
all right.
I'm actually gonna tell this story one day. But
of course, I was gonna say, listen, we already 35 minutes in, so I'm not. I know. Listen, it's time and place for everything, but I appreciate. And again, guys, when I speak, I don't want anyone to think I'm being judgmental at all. I'm just coming from my perspective, because I remember there was this time where there was this guy I had liked, and I said, hey, let's go do a threesome or whatever, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking like, I like this guy way too much. And the girl who he told me about was a girl that he had messed around with like back in the day, and they used to do like threesomes all the time, so I was like, and she's extremely more like experienced than I am, so I probably would have been in the corner like, flicking the beam. So like, right.
But honestly, those are things you have to think about. Like the person that you're gonna have a threesome with, and I'm just talking about sex. I'm not talking about like a relationship or anything like that. You have to put these things into perspective, and both people have to make an effort to make sure each other are comfortable with this whole interaction. My take on threesomes, as I sit here today, they're overrated to me. They're very overrated, especially for the amount of work that you need to put into it in order to make sure that the experience is pleasurable. Because again, I've said this so many times on my podcast, like when it comes to sex just with one person, I have to have a conversation. We have to talk. You got to know. It might be some freaky shit that I like that you be like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Or it might be the other way around. We need to make sure that we talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to do the same thing when it comes to just this threesome. Like, that's why it's overrated. For me, it's overrated.
But I think the thing is, this is why I feel like people, there's some things that you need to get out the way when you're young versus when you become like for example, like I always say, do everything in your teens and 20s, because when you hit 30, like that stuff that you was doing, still just staying up all night to be up in the club with everybody else. Like, bro, sis, you should have stopped doing that like 5 years ago. But then again, if I say that, oh, you being a hater, that's why you bored. But I'm like, bro, like. And then on top of that, I think about like when a threesome, like let's say you go watch a porno. Porn actually makes a threesome look like it's bomb. Okay, everybody knows when to switch positions, all that type of stuff. But people need to realize porn is not reality. Okay, you try to do a threesome in reality. Somebody ain't giving head correctly. Then somebody's like got a Charlie horse. Then everybody like it's like, okay, somebody kicks.
They literally cut that stuff to make it flow the way that it does. Like. They ain't doing it like that. Like, y'all are getting the highlights of this, however long it took for them to film this. Like, people don't. I just don't understand why people don't realize that. But you're right. I feel like I don't even want to say at a certain age, because I feel like you do whatever the fuck you want to do, because I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. But for me, I had my little intermittent whole phase. And I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? And
what? High five through the screen. High five one time.
Boom. Like I had my intermittent whole phase, and I'm over it. I don't even really know exactly what I want right in this moment, but I'm over that. And I'm not about to be surprising you with no threesomes. I'm not about to be like, no, we're not. I need you to go ahead and have all that shit out the way.
Or like a tinsome.
Which is just something that I've never ever has never rocked my boat. Like, I've never ever wanted to be a part of an orgy or anything like that. I've never been a swinger.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. Like, I always wanted to be like in an all-girl orgy or something. It could just be us three. It doesn't have to be multiple. Like, I think I've seen like,
that's a threesome if it's just three now.
Or five, or it doesn't matter. I just want to be all girls. But then again, some of these women, you gotta, and I'm so particular when it comes with Like there has been literally. All right, I'm about to tell you guys a secret. Okay, it's not really
exclusive.
It's not really. If you listen to my podcast, I've said it so many times. So I'm still a virgin. Orally, I'm not. Somebody's penetrated my throat with their dick, but my cat has not been penetrated. Right. So, but what the crazy thing is like my body count with women. I know for a fact it's going to be a lot higher than men. Whoever I decide to have sex with the men, and I'll give you a little background story about that. So the reason, of course, I want to, go out there, have, be like everybody else and stuff like that, try to lose my virginity in high school and early college or whatever. But every single time I tried, God would always block it. Like every single time I tried. So I got to the point now, present day, I felt like, I feel like this. You have the rest of your life to go after your vices, to do your vices, but you got one shot to be successful. I think it feels better to be in my career, the radio and television. That's my dream. Like I'm trying to, emulate like after Steve Harvey. He has so many different things out. He's been like popping since the 90s. I feel like it's better for me to be successful than letting some man hump on me. I'm just gonna be and because that's gonna forever be here. So I felt like, okay, well, if I go have sex with a woman, it's not, and I've never done a strap on or anything. I still have never even scissored, stuff like that. So and they're like, Kyndra, that feels so freaking amazing. I'm like, I didn't know nothing about scissor until a few years ago, and it never came across my mind, So anyway, but it's like I always felt that, if I'm sitting here having sex with this woman, it wasn't as, I guess soul tying in a way as a man, but you can still catch a soul tie, just having a regular friend, and you're so close to them, and it's like when they're leaving your life, you're like, no, come back, and stuff like that. So I think so with like I said, with all that being said, even the one girl who was my best friend at the time, we just cool now, but the one girl I've ever given head to, I probably should have done a little bit more like digging into it, but how am I trying to say this? I guess I just have to check your diet. I gotta make sure you drink enough water. I gotta make sure you're clean. Now, mind you, she wasn't. It's not that she was dirty. It's just that when I was down there and I smelled, I don't know if it's because she just took a Plan B pill 2 days ago. That's what she told me. So it smelled
goodbye.
Tingy like blood, just a tinge. But I still ate, and then she liked it, which I don't know how well she
like a copper penny.
She liked me giving her head, and I'm like, I felt like I didn't do a good enough job because I really kept smelling, and I was like, so she's looking to their faces. All right, back to the story. So I have to really, if I was to ever give a girl head, if it ever happens, which I think at this point, I don't know, maybe it will, maybe not, I don't really care, but if it was to ever happen again, I have to really be like, Siamese twins. Okay, we connected at the hip. Where you going, I'm going. Okay, because I'm telling you, not a lot of people are clean out there. You got to check. I'm telling you, you have to really make sure. I always say a good indication is, I look at people's skin. I'm really good at looking at people's skin. Is their skin clear? Okay. And you can, I know that's not really good representation because, but I feel like if you look at their skin, you look at their nail bed, is their nail withering away? Is their hair, does it look brittle? Stuff like that. Are they breaking out everywhere? They covered it with makeup, but you still see the spots. I'm like, yeah. I'm sure you dealt with a woman who probably, was a little wretched down there.
And told her ass to go get in the shower.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you did that. Did she get offended?
I don't care. So that's that on that. So you mentioned Steve Harvey. When did you feel like you were a comedian? Like what made you say, I'm about to be a comedian?
So I've been funny my entire life, but I literally 2016, I've had so many people over a course of time tell me I need my own TV show and I need to, just go forth with that. Like, that's why I created my podcast, The Kyndra Crump Show, because I had just said I might as well just start off by talking. People are like, you are hilarious and your voice needs to be heard. So I went through a series of unfortunate events, just trying to figure out exactly what it is that I wanted to be in life. And the first thing I said was I wanted to be a chef, until I realized that I hate math. I was failing math like damn near every year in school. And I know for a fact I don't follow directions. Half a cup of this, a teaspoon of that. That book is made by white people for white people. I stop seasoning when my ancestors tell me to stop. Okay. That's when I stop. I'm not looking at no cookbook. Anyway.
I feel it.
You know, so yeah, I failed math every year in school to the point my mama had to show up at that for those PTA meetings. All right. I know she was tired of showing up at those PTA meetings, like in a new wig. Is that Miss Crump or is that Shaka Khan? We still don't know to this day, okay?
Hell no. Nah.
The next thing I said was I wanted to be a basketball player. I had hoop dreams. And mind you guys, I'm not tall. I'm only like 5'6". So, but I love playing basketball and everything else. And it wasn't until I played fundamental basketball my senior year of high school, and then I realized that I hate running. Like, why every time this person misses a layup, we all got to run a mile. Make that person run a mile, okay?
Right.
The last thing
effort.
Yes, the last thing I said I wanted to be was a hairstylist. And it wasn't until I realized that you had to stand up on your feet all day and you could catch carpal tunnel. So what happens if you try to go home to masturbate? You can't.
Girl, goodbye.
So I said 2016, started with Snapchat, and then I just, kind of just went from there and started having to study after other comedians, because I realized that, comedy, you can be you can be versatile. If you can make a person laugh with or without using profanity, you got the job and everything else like that. And if you pay attention to Kevin Hart, when he's starting to run out of material, he just uses a lot of profanity. Mm-hmm. So, and it's like you're pretty much watering down your material. So, like I said, I just said this is fun. I mean, and I hope I go far with this, and I always tell people have other streams of methods of being great. Like, what else are you like to do that can bring you some form of income? Like, find something that brings you joy and do it.
Absolutely. So who would you, if say for instance you had a year, mm-hmm. and you could choose any comedian to study under for a year, so you're touring with them, you're anything that they're doing, you're right there with them because you're basically studying them, who mm-hmm. would that be?
Arnaz J from Def Comedy Jam. I like him. He's very talented. He's somebody who I definitely would love to do stuff with. Like, so yeah, Arnaz J.
Have you done any actual like stand-up comedy shows, or has it all just been like web-based or?
Yeah, podcast. I'll go to the hood, kickbacks, whatever type of event that has a lot of people. It's never actually been me coming to the stage. It's just always been me at like certain places where it has a group of people. And podcasting is a form of stand-up because you're just talking. You're not just, you don't have the jokes here and there. You don't have an audience laughing, but people are laughing.
Right.
So yes.
But you go live sometimes, right? Do you go live ever?
Only time I've gone live is if I ever have somebody say, hey, I want to go on live with you and interview you. But no, never. I've tried going live and then my internet started like acting booty. So I just like, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this dial-up internet. Like, let me just go ahead and just post on my IG stories. That's it.
Speaking of bad internet, have you been following the verses?
I have done follow the verses, and it's cool. It's my favorite. Probably
that's what I was going to ask you. Who was your favorite?
Was Ludacris versus Nelly, and the only reason I love Ludacris because he's in my top 5 favorite rappers, excluding Pac, Big, and Jay-Z. Right. And so when Ludacris, like a lot of those songs, I was just like screaming at the top of my lungs and having a whole party and stuff. But yeah, Luda and Nelly was cool, except when Nelly's internet connection was acting foggy or whatever.
But Nelly has so much energy though. Like he was so hype about his own shit. I'm like, everybody needs to be as hype about their own shit as Nelly was, because he was so ecstatic about his shit. Mm-hmm. Even as it was cutting in and out, he was still dancing.
Mm-hmm. He really was. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I like DMX's and Snoop Dogg. That was cool.
Yeah, that was good. So what do you think about you mentioned Kevin Hart, and you know that people had dug up some tweets, and he's done, and he's just done some shit. He's just
what
been out here
bothers me about people.
Yeah.
People need to find something better to do what they like. Quit digging up tweets. Figure out why your marriage is failing. Why don't you dig that up?
That part. So my question though is, what do you think about comedians who have chosen to bite their tongue when it comes to sensitive topics? Is that something that you do?
I'm one of them, because I know that like their jokes I've been canceled for, like I was talking about with the LGBTQ community. There's some things that people just get offended by, and I'm like, bro, we like grew up watching South Park, Futurama, Family Guy, and you guys are sensitive for what reason? That's the issue I have, but people, I'm telling you, man, people will sit here and try to get you canceled for no reason. And I don't know if it's because of I don't know if it's social media started that, but it needs to end, because I'm just trying to live my best life, stuff like that. But what I do is whatever I don't say online, I just say it on my podcast. You can't cancel me off my podcast.
That's what I was about to say, because I've heard you say, and like I said, I listened to a few episodes and I heard you say some shit, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. See, I don't even know what I said that could have been deemed as bad. I'm like,
but I do the same thing. Like my theme song says, she do what she want to do. Like I get on here. Let me tell you something. I have to sometimes, I don't have to, but every once in a while, like on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, listen, I've gotten a lot of new followers. I just want to let y'all know this a black ass account. Whole lot of niggas. I'm saying niggas all the time. Whole lot, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but here's my question. What is it about the N-word, quote unquote? Because I always thought the N-word was nigger. What is it about nigga that just is a bad thing? Like, I don't know. Because when somebody says the N-word, I hear nigger with the ER, but not nigga.
I do too.
What is it about nigga that makes people just edit that word out on television? I don't understand that.
Well, because it's a form of the word, but even still, it's just like, I say it a whole damn lot, and if you're offended by it, then I don't really know what to tell you. Just turn my shit off. Like I remember when. Do you remember when they did the march and they buried it? Remember that?
The march.
Yes. So it was like, oh damn, I want to say it was like what's his name? Reverend Al Sharpton. Yes. Him and a bunch of people, and they did like this whole like funeral of the N-word. This was some time ago. I almost want to feel like I might have been like right out of high school. I can't remember. But
I was like, I don't know. Oh wait, shoot! They were burying the word. I don't remember that, because I was like probably a child, but I remember hearing about it in school. So yes, and I'm pretty sure after it was over, Al Sharpton was like, "Nigga, get out of here!" Like
yeah, it's just like I didn't really. I think my thing about the word is, like you said, okay, so you have the word with the hard ER that, I don't ever want to hear anybody say. Like, even when I hear, or when I see on social media, somebody says it being funny or whatever, like, and it'll be a black person, they say it being funny, and I cringe. Like, it's just, it's night and day. But when it comes to nigga, like with just the A on the end, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's one of those things that we took that word that people use to demean us, and we flipped that shit and made it great, like we do everything else. Just like, they gave all of the scraps, the shit that they gave us when we were slaves. You know what I'm saying? We flipped that shit. We got soul food. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's one reason why I've never said I'm just gonna let this go, because we took that shit and we made it into something that you can't even say now. You feel what I'm saying? Like, well, you shouldn't say. So that's my take on that. But But yeah, I wanted to know about the sensitive topics because I've noticed a lot, or at least a good portion of like maybe some stand-up comedy and things of that nature that I've seen over recent years, maybe the past 3-4 years, that have kind of toned down their jokes. And I respect. What do you think about Dave Chappelle?
I like Dave Chappelle. He's cool. I think that he when he says to do something, he commands a room and it happens. But it's crazy how Dave can tell y'all, don't watch my show on Netflix. But when Monique came and said she needed a raise, versus Amy Schumer, no one cared about Monique. And I'm like, I think a lot of this is still a man's world, stuff like that. So no, Dave Chappelle, he's cool. I don't like I tell people, like, in my top 5, I'm gonna give you guys my top 5, and I'm going to exclude prior Chappelle and Kevin Hart. Again, like I said, Kevin Hart's not funny to me. Cat Williams can run circles around him. But the reason I'm excluding Chappelle and Pryor is because that's in everybody's top 5. It's like basketball. You got to exclude Kobe, LeBron, and MJ. There's other people out there who are still really good. So my top 5: Cedric, Steve, Arnez J, Carlos Miller, and Chris Rock. If I can throw a woman in there, comedian Miss Pat. She's pretty good. I found out about Miss Pat. She is from she's got like a little bit over 100,000 followers on IG, but I found her off the Breakfast Club. One day she just made a special appearance on there, and I bought her book. She's from Atlanta as well. But Miss Pat does not give a fuck. She will just say whatever. And she was actually first got a little bit of some notoriety off of the Joe Rogan show. So yeah, she's actually she's pretty good. So yeah, I like her.
I'm gonna have to check her out. I don't think
she one day she's gonna, this is gonna be, again, I'm about to say something that's gonna sound taboo, and I'm gonna say this, and then y'all can come debate about it with me in my DM. Okay?
No, they can't. Don't come to her DM and say shit. Go ahead and say what you gotta say.
That's right, because you're gonna get these hands thrown to you virtually and in person. But no, I was gonna say, if Miss Pat doesn't sell her soul, she's gonna be pretty good. But a lot of these people in these industry, if you want, these really people who are really, really big and famous, they done sold their soul. They done did something strange for a piece of change. And I always told God, and I tell God this every time I get a chance to, if you promote me to where I'm supposed to be, like in my career, I promise you I'm not going to sell my soul. I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to do none of that, because I can't live with myself knowing things that I've done. And there's some things that one day when the world ends is going to be revealed to us. These men, these women that these guys going crazy over were actually born men. Okay, y'all gonna realize that, and vice versa. Okay, telling you, man, it's a lot of people are just wicked, man. It's a lot of wickedness out there. But that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go too much into it.
It's all good. So, and that was definitely a word. That was definitely a word. So on that note, I want to go ahead and end on that note, because I think that was perfect.
Most definitely.
But I want you, before we get out of here, I want you to tell my listeners where they can find you, your social media handles, if you have a website. And I'm also going to put all of this in the show notes, but I would like for you to go ahead and tell us.
Of course. All right. Thank you to everybody whose attention span has not gone nowhere. Shout out to y'all. So Instagram is Idolized Dynasty, IDOLIZE DYNASTY. YouTube is Kyndra Crump, KYNDRA CRUMP. Okay, please put a space in between, because a lot of y'all ain't the highest grade of weed in the dispensary. Okay,
not the backyard Babbage weed.
Twitter, Idolized Dynasty, but guys, I'm not an active tweeter, so you might get a tweet every twice a week, maybe, if I think about it. And yeah, the end.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for being a part of the Lit Life podcast. I am definitely gonna have to have you back again. I'm hoping that
before the year is over.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I mean, you could even come to the studio. You can even come here and record. We can record, however, whatever you want.
All right, let's set it up. Let's do something like in July, August. I want to come up in there so I can be like half naked or something like that. Like, that's how I come up in the share. Okay?
I don't give a damn. Do you know that I'm a nudist? We will be sitting in this motherfucker butt ass naked.
Can we really do that?
Now, listen, will be sitting in your butt ass naked. Don't play with me.
I have a body of a goddess, man. Like, and
I don't.
And it's okay. Don't get now. Listen, if you start like creaming everywhere or whatever, I did that without touching you.
And on that note, until y'all hear me again, peace.